Hello and welcome, Pauleh here, and I am playing Warsword Conquest, a mod for Mountain Blade Warband, a mod you've seen a lot on my channel already. Now something has been bugging me, it has been scratching at the back of my mind about which faction is the strongest. And I've read various reports that factions like the Wood Elves and such, have like some of the best units and so on, and the pirates, the pirate ogres are like unstoppable and so on. And I believe it. They are very powerful units, but that requires a lot of time and investment with war academies and such. And I feel that doesn't really count. I'm talking about what faction from the get-go is the strongest. Now, from what I've seen, Kislev are very, very strong. They dominate chaos, they spread, and if you look at my Witch Hunter campaign, that's exactly that. They seem unstoppable, basically. Araby are also pretty strong, they spread very quick. The Night Goblins seem to hang in there, but are not as strong as the other factions. Nippon colonies rarely ever leave that corner, so it's hard to judge them. Bretonia, they're pretty fierce, but because they're in the middle, I feel like they get attacked quite often. And whatever they take, they'll get pushed back eventually. So it comes down to one other faction. I mean, there's the Empire, but I feel they'd never really expand as much as they could. So really, the factions that I see it as are the High Elves, Bretonia, and Kislev. Maybe the Wood Elves do better in other people's campaigns, but in my campaigns they have always been eliminated pretty quick. So, as I said, High Elves would be the other, and I'm very curious to see if that is the case. If you've looked at any of my campaigns, my Chaos, my Witch Hunter, or my Dark Elf campaign, the High Elves have been the one constant throughout these. They have never lost any territory on their home island, they've spread out, they've conquered so much territory, they are very difficult to beat and push back. They have lords with lots and lots of troops because they just expand so rapidly. My question is, if I were to join them, would that still be the case? Or if I join them, do all the other factions suddenly turn on whatever faction the player joins, or that faction becomes weaker to balance it out? I don't know, but that is something I want to check. So, I'm going to start a new campaign, and I do apologise if anyone rolls their eyes at yet another campaign I'm doing in Warsword Conquest, but I will be alternating these videos as I currently have, with this one included, 4 campaigns on the go, which will be a bit much, but I hope to actually expand into some other Mountain Blade Warband mods as well, and set goals. So rather than playing just to conquer all of the land, because that is an endless task half the time, we will set a goal and we will try to achieve it. So with this, we're going to pick Elf, and once we're on the main map I'll explain my goal. We are going to be a son of the High Elves. You were born years ago in a land far away. Your father was... I can't read this one. A charioteer, a noble, a swordmaster of Hotef, a tournament hero, a ranger, a dragon prince. Okay, so I do have an idea on a build. I'm going to go with a ranger. Oh, he performed missions for both the High Elves and Wood Elves. He was a master archer and tracker like most rangers, but your father had connection to the forest that most of the elves did not. Okay. I am going to start off as a... let's say a Lord's Emissary. Then, as young adult life changed, as it always does, you became a guildmaster, a Blood Bowl player, a dungeon adventurer, an archer, a horse trainer, a bolt thrower crewman. I'm going to go with archer. And ooh, I haven't seen this one before. What made you take decision was a prophecy. There we go. Realistic, no quitting without saving, as always. Okay, so the character build I'm looking to do here, there's a couple of stages I want to take this. First, I want to start off as a bit of a ranger. My main weapons are going to be two-hander and a bow. Now, I haven't used a bow in a long time out of all my series, and I feel it's time to get back into it. And I've seen the speed that I reload on my witch hunter when he's got maxed out weapon, agility and very high, weapon mastery. But as I tried to do that on my dark elf playthrough, I ran into some issues. And the issues being I neglected to have a decent sized army, so we ran into a lot of trouble there. Running really fast doesn't really help that much, but again, it's something that I would like to focus on. So I'm going to actually want to drop some points into leadership. Get that up to there. And I feel that I really should get my charisma up to 12 just to get my leadership to there. Get that up, drop a point into power strike. So I'm probably going to aim for my strength to be about 15. My charisma maybe take it up a bit more so I can have more troops. But then I am going to completely go high up on agility later on, but not right now. I feel going on it right now is a waste of time and effort. We will go with riding, athletics for now. Okay. Drop these points into two-hander. As I said, I'll be using a bow and a two-handed weapon. And I want to talk a little bit more about my character here in a moment. We're going to call him Pauleh, one of my old character names. Now I'm hoping to make this playthrough a little more interesting than the norm, because you've seen me play and you've seen me get beaten and defeated many a time. So hopefully this will be good. There we go. I quite like this look. And I quite like... Ooh. Yeah, this is my high elf hair. Take a ship to Lothern in the High Elf Kingdom. So here we are. Now, goals. What I'm going to aim for as a clear sort of victory goal, or a victory, I forget what they call it, victory recommendation. But basically the way I'm going to win this, or the way this campaign ends, or at least comes to its first stop, is to, as I did with the Dark Elves, which was to conquer the High Elf and Nippon colonists, since they're the first two people I've gone to war with. We'll take a look. Who is the High Elf Kingdom at war with? They are fighting the Dark Elf, the Skaven, and the Beastmen. So, goals for the High Elves will be to conquer the Dark Elves. And because the Beastmen fall so quickly, and let's say Skaven, because they really do lose their territory very quick, we will look to conquer these lands as well. Now, these are some of the weakest factions in the game. And as long as nothing drastically changes when I join the High Elves, we shouldn't have much of a problem accomplishing this task, but we will see. This is basically an experiment. Now, my character, let me just go inside here quickly. As I said, there is a couple of... So this Shadow Hood, I basically want to become a Shadow Warrior to begin with, to focus on my bow, get it leveled up, level up my skills, and then later on I'm probably going to aim to get the white lion armor and weld an axe while keeping my bow, because my hope is to eventually get my hands on that dragon bow, which is offered via the wizards. I'm not much of a fan of the really high-end armor, like for the high elves. I don't like the look of them, like I don't like this dragon winged helmets or anything. Although some of their swordmaster gear does look very cool, we will see. But that is kind of what I'm aiming for. So, look at these shadow bows, very cool. So yeah, damn, they look badass, they really do. So yeah, that is my goal that I want to aim for. Hopefully it's going to be interesting for you guys to watch. I know it's another campaign, but bear with me. I do hope to make this different than the others. Forest Scout, Forest Scout. I'm going to need some companions as well. I want to do this right this time. How fast can I fire? Pretty quick. Imagine if I've got this actually leveled up. First thing for me to do would be to go out and find some bandits. I do have a horse. Horse archery might not be a bad thing to level up. Beastmen and wood elves have made peace. Okay. Let me go and get a few troops to join me. We can't join the high elves just yet. But we're going to need money as well. Now here's one thing. One edge that the high elves get. I can come over here and I can come over here and trade between Sheikh and Lothern, buying and selling salt, and I can make a lot of money that way. So I have no doubt that's going to be how I make my money on this character. We're going to take full advantage of that and amass quite a fortune, and from there we will start investing in enterprises and the like. I may look to get the enterprises up and running before I do anything else, because a lot of territories or a lot of people are going to hate me once we go to war. So I don't have enough money to recruit. We need to take people out. And we have some Chaos Zealots to first test. Now, if I'm not mistaken, every first video of these campaigns I tend to get defeated and beaten, which sucks. But I'm kind of hoping we can avoid that this time. Now, I have a bow. Should be able to take out some of these guys before they get anywhere near me. They are low armored or no armor. Very weak. Maybe a bit too far for me to hit with my bow. It's really hard to range. Oh no, there we go, I hit him. Last time I've been using the bow was my Ranger series. Time before that was my Warband series. Bows are very, very powerful, but then again, I've been using a lot of rifles in one of my recent campaigns on my Witch Hunter. And crossbows on my Dark Elf. Okay, they get very close here. Even now I aim pretty quick. There we go. Survived. Give me everything you got. I need that money. Gonna have to sell it. I've leveled. I'm gonna drop that point into strength for now. Increase my power strike. Start putting points into two-handed, as I want to get my hands on that as soon as possible. I could recruit a few more high elves. Basically protection in case we run across any deserters or chaos dwarves, because they tend to be fairly powerful. Although I'm hoping that with my bow I'll be able to tip the scales during those fights and actually be okay. First order of business will be to get my hands on a... Ooh, is there a tournament going on? I don't have the gear for a tournament. Ship is going to be 1500. could wait until the morning, enter the arena, try and survive. If I win 500. Let's see how well I manage this. It would be very nice if I start with the bow. A perfect way to do this. I don't do too much damage with this. Not really the weapon I want to be using. And all these guys, see, an archer is king in here because apart from the ones with the shields, everyone's unarmored, so the bows do like really good damage. I can just get one more victory, we'll leave this. I just want to see if I've got enough money to buy a bag of salt from the Sheikh and then transfer it back and sell it. Where are you going, old man? Perfect time to switch weapons. As I will be planning to use two-handed, that big two-handed axe you see the white lions use. Or the sword masters. So eventually my setup's going to be a two-handed weapon, a bow, and 2 lots of arrows. That's the plan. I mean, if I can accomplish a victory here, that would be 500 I'd get, which would be enough for like 1-2 bags of salt. I don't know how much a bag of salt is, but salt sells for quite a bit. You make a few hundred profit every time you just travel back and forth. Definitely worth doing. I can keep eliminating these guys with 1 hit. When you see the archers, never hesitate to just charge into them. They only have a dagger, they cannot block. Basically, I'm just trying to end this in 1 hit whenever I can. Time it just right so they lower their guard as my weapon hits them. Because if I mess up and they block, then I'm in for a fight. 16 more to go. I have less than half health. So far we're doing good though. Like that. Screwed up. Another chunk of health gone. Someone could be behind me at the moment. Oh, we're okay. Ooh, didn't expect to knock him out with that thrust, but hey, we did it. 12 more. Maybe we can win this. Okay, now it's getting a bit hairy. Nope. He got me. Caught me. Fair enough. That was a good attempt. So, okay. We got 100 gold from there. It doesn't sound like much, but it was a good start. Now what we're going to do is travel over to the Sheikh if we can find the path. It should just be around here. There we go. High Elf Kingdom and Skaven Underworld have made peace. Orc and Kislev have made peace, okay. So don't have to worry about the Skaven just yet. Just need to make my way to the Sheikh. Go to the marketplace, look at the goods. Fine salt, fine salt. Those are the ones. And we can buy... There we go. Take those bags of salt, and we're going to bring it straight back to Lothern, in fact. Actually, since we're going to cross here, let's take it straight there. To Tor Reese, however you say it. Because to the marketplace, and each bag 4, 6, 5. Right away, we've just made 1,600. So we could now afford a ship if we wanted one. So you can see how starting as a high elf, or just any faction, and making the trip here to just do this for a bit before you go to war with anyone is very, very useful. It's kind of cheaty, but hey ho. I mean, it's all part of the game, so to speak. And besides, once you've got enterprises anyway, you're making like 50k a week in like no time, so it's not something I'm too worried about. So we're gonna just travel over here, and just to show you one more time, marketplace goods, and we can sell all of this for top dollar. Just doubled our money, and now I can go back and make another trip and maybe go down to Martech and buy salt from there and so on, and then we can start buying some better equipment right off the bat and hopefully get my companions and get them equipped and whatnot. But yeah, that is the plan starting off. I just want to get myself financially stable, slowly level up, get some experience, and once we're ready we will look to join the High Elves as soon as they'll let us. At some point they'll start pushing against the Beastmen, because the Beastmen do not last long at all. So I think the way to do this is to put as much pressure as we can on the Beastmen during those early days. Conquer as much territory, because the other factions are going to come in trying to take it. The more we take, the bigger my fellow lords will be, and then we can do a serious push against the Dark Elves and hopefully take them out relatively quickly. And then we'll see what happens with the High Elves after that. Anyway, that is all for now. Thank you for watching. You should have joined me again next time. Until then.